Hello, I hope you're doing well. I am super excited for this video, actually for two reasons. The first reason is that this is obviously my 2024 Hobonichi Cousin Avec planner setup video, which is always exciting. And the second reason is that I actually got a legitimate mic for my voiceovers. I have been doing YouTube for 8 years now, and I've always just been using my phone voice recorder, very primitive. And yeah, I just thought it was about time, and hopefully my audio is a little better from now on. But anyways, about the actual video. This is my first year using the Hobonichi Cousin Avec, which is the same as the Hobonichi Cousin that I've been using for the past 3 years, except the notebook is split into two. So earlier you saw the light blue notebook cover. That one is the July to December, and currently I'm working on just the January to June, so the first half of 2024. And it is a lovely lime green color, very lovely. And if you can't tell, that's purely sarcasm. And in honesty, I actually don't mind this color, except I'm just not sure I want to stare at it every single day for 6 months. So yeah, I wanted to think of a way to cover it up. And so last week it was actually recycling day, and I found this like cardstock that was going to be recycled. I actually don't even know where it came from. I think it was just like a backing card of something, and I just thought that this craft color was perfect for the cover. And yeah, that's what I ended up using. I basically just repurposed something that was about to be recycled. And I used my pencil to outline the cover size, and I also used my X-Acto knife to trim it down, and also my scissors to slightly round the corners because the Hobonichi Cousin corners are rounded. And oh, by the way, for this setup video, I tried my best to not use any like super fancy gadgets. I essentially just used a pencil, a ruler, my X-Acto knife, and a pair of scissors. I also do want to mention that I am using a lot of my own products in this video. It's not meant to be an advertisement or anything. I just design things that I like, and because of that I tend to use it myself. But please don't feel pressured to buy anything. Anyways, moving on. After I trimmed out the cardstock, I went on to decorate the cover. And since, the cover is detached from the notebook, it was actually very convenient for me to like rotate things around to get things perfect. The first thing that I wanted to put down was a 2024 vinyl sticker. I had 4 options and I decided to go with this craft version. And I wanted to place it roughly around the same place as where the Hobonichi Techo 2024 is written on the actual planner cover. So I just used my ruler to roughly measure out the distance and made a little mark with my pencil. To the side, you can see that there are a few sheets of these like foiled flower stickers, and this is from my shop. It is part of the 2024 Birth Flowers collection. Essentially, every month there is a coordinating primary and secondary birth flower, and I just created these stickers based off that. And it's actually perfect because I'm using the first 6, so the January to June birth flowers on this cover, and then when it comes time to decorate the second book, I'm going to use the July to December birth flower stickers for that. I think that's a really nice, subtle way to differentiate between the 2 books. And yeah, I'm just using my pencil and ruler to draw very light guides so that I can ensure the stickers are placed down straight. I think this entire setup took about an hour and 15 minutes to do, so slightly longer than, what I would typically spend on my planner in a typical day, but it was just a lovely gloomy day. I had a hot cup of coffee and I was also jamming out to music, so I think it's a perfect like weekend activity. After placing down all of the flower stickers, I went in with my eraser to again lightly erase the pencil marks, and then I kind of did a sanity check. I placed it on top of my planner to ensure that it looked good. Then I'm using a tape runner to apply a bunch of double-sided tape to the back of the card so that I can stick it on to the cover. And again, this is kind of like a cardstock, so it's rather heavy duty, so I ensured to place down a lot of double-sided tape. Then I'm going to work on the back cover, and I'm using this flower vellum. Hopefully you can kind of see a theme. I'm using this flower vellum from my shop, and this is actually an unreleased item. It was supposed to be part of the previous new release, but I last minute pulled it from the release because I don't know if you can tell, but I feel like the colors are slightly faded. Like the black lines are not very black. But a lot of people in my Facebook group and also on Instagram said that you didn't really mind it, so I think I will include this as part of the November new releases, but kind of discounted just because it's like not a perfect product. But since I have it, I'm using it. I just again used the cover of the planner as the guide, and I am cutting it down to size. And I actually am using a different tape runner this time because I don't know if you noticed, but the previous tape runner, it was actually slightly colored. It was like a light blue, and since this is vellum and it's see-through, I wanted to ensure that I use a tape runner that is completely clear so it doesn't show through. Oh, and you might be curious why I didn't cover the back cover as well with the wonderful lime green color. Honestly, again, it's just because I don't mind it as much. I was more concerned about the front of the cover, and I also did think it was kind of nice to still maintain some of the original intentions of the Hobonichi brand, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, if it bothers you, you can definitely cover it with another like piece of craft cardstock or something. Okay, and then working on the inner cover, I decided to use another piece of vellum. As you can see, I really love vellum. I was looking through my scraps and I was trying to figure out which I wanted to use, and in the end I decided to go with this pretty plain Emoji Doodles vellum. Also, please don't tell my mom that I am using my X-Acto knife to cut on our dining table. I was extra careful, but I might have made some marks by accident. While I'm finishing up the cover, I will just quickly mention that I'm currently pre-filming a bunch of videos because I will be going away on a trip and I don't really want to worry about editing videos while I'm on a trip. So one of the videos is a order packing video plus Q&A. So if you have any questions that you have been wanting me to answer for whatever reason, you can go to the community tab of my YouTube channel and there should be a post about submitting questions. So at this point of my setup, I actually wasn't sure if the clear cover that I have would fit the Hobonichi cousin Avec. Like I was 90% sure that it would fit, but I just haven't tested it out. So I was kind of holding my breath at this point, but yeah, it fit perfectly fine. So this is the Midori A5 notebook cover, which is perfect for the Hobonichi cousin Avecs. If you have the full year Hobonichi cousin, so it's like the two notebooks together, this would definitely be way too small. What you would need to get is the Midori Codex A5 cover, and that is what I have been using for the past few years. It is just slightly wider to accommodate for the thicker spine. I actually already owned one of these A5 covers, and then one of my lovely customers, her name is Janine, I know she watches my videos, she also gifted me another one of these covers, so now I have one for each book, which again is just perfect. I just popped on the clear cover, which is always a little nerve-wracking because you kind of have to bend the Hobonichi cover. And then I started decorating the front title page. I just put down one of these adhesive sticky pockets from my shop. This is a cloud one from the anniversary sale. I don't currently have any adhesive pockets in stock, but I would definitely love to make more if you guys want more. And then I also used this like weather themed vinyl, and this is part of the November snail mail subscription, which I know have not started shipping yet, but this is one of the perks of running my own business. Okay, and then the next section is the year at a glance. This is one of my favorite sections to do, but also one of the more nerve-wracking sections because you have to place 12 stickers perfectly straight and perfectly spaced. Well, you don't have to if you don't want to, but I do. So I did a bunch of measuring and guidelines. I did get a little bit cocky, I will say, and I put down January and it was definitely crooked. So I attempted to pull it back up, but yeah, in the last moment it ripped the page of the Hobonichi, but not a problem. We move on. So I decided to put in the work and draw vertical guidelines as well. And I do eventually cover up that little blemish you will see later on. And I will take this opportunity to say that these year at a glance stickers are available for sale in my shop, but they are also available as free printables for the members of my Facebook group if you're interested. Each of the 12 little calendars are available separately, and you can download the PNG files, and then you can just like resize it to whatever size you need, maybe in like Google Docs or Photoshop, and print them out and cut them out yourself. I even saw someone on Instagram print it out on vellum paper. I think they just purchased it from like Amazon and used it as a title page for each month, which I thought was such a fun idea. So also the reason why I am not providing like my exact measurements here is that I made a lot of errors as well. So, you know, January to August, things were going well, but then when I got to September and also December, I realized that those 2 months there are 6 rows instead of 5. So based on the measurements that I had, the calendars couldn't cover the lone 31, if that makes any sense. I certainly wasn't going to lift up all of the previous stickers, so I just continued on, and you will see how I cover it up later on. Okay, so after putting down all of the calendars, I once again went in with my eraser and erased all of the guidelines. There was a bunch for this one. And then as my solution, first of all, the January one ripping the page, as well as the September and December not covering up all of the numbers, I took these mini floral doodle stickers from my shop. Again, just a disclaimer, I use a lot of things from my shop just because I design things that I like. I don't know why, I'm very insecure about it. Okay, so anyways, I'm using these little floral doodles and covering up the little blemishes, and then I kind of just went ham and sprinkled on a bunch of these little floral doodles, and I think it ended up just looking intentional, and you can't really tell that I made mistakes. Then moving on to the like perpetual calendar section, even though this is for January to June, each of the book comes with the full perpetual calendar. So behind this one, there's actually the July to December pages. However, I'm only going to be setting it up for the respective books. So for this one, I'm only going to be setting up this spread because I will be using the other notebook for July to December anyways. So if you are familiar with my planner setup from 2023, this year, I was using my Hobonichi Weeks year at a glance section to track my workouts, and I really enjoyed doing that. I was very consistent with it. It was very satisfying to see all of my steps and my workouts. But since I will not be using the Hobonichi Weeks for next year, I decided to do kind of like a hybrid. So I first used my ruler and pencil and I sectioned off 3 squares to the left. Basically what I'm going to do is use some highlighters. I will be using the Mildliners, and again, if you're familiar with my spreads, you would recognize that these are the same colors that I used for last year, except I am adding in a third color, this red, because I ended up going kind of crazy with my step counts. So the teal color is for 10,000 or more steps, the brown color is for 15,000 or more, and then the red is for 20,000 or more. My step tracker ended up being like basically all brown because I was getting more than 15,000 steps basically every single day. So it wasn't too functional anymore. So yeah, this time I'm introducing a red, which is 20,000 more steps. So hopefully this kind of adds a little bit more insight. So that is my color code. And then as for my workouts, I have 4 codes. Up is for upper body, low is for lower body, run is for running, of course, and then OTH is for other forms of movement. So this could be like a long walk or maybe a hike, or my friend has been wanting me to go rock climbing with them, so maybe rock climbing, stuff that I don't typically do, but I would count as some form of exercise apart from daily tasks. So the left portion is going to be for all of my workouts, and then for the right portion, that is going to be where I put down my like key events like birthdays, important appointments, stuff like that. I just went ahead and filled in a few birthdays. And then for the bottom section, I'm going to do the same thing as what I did for this year, where basically I'm going to doodle a continuous doodle and add to it every month. So that is my year at a glance section. Okay, next step is tabbing up the planner, and I think this is simultaneously the most satisfying part but also the most tedious part. So here I inserted a very professional infographic of the tabs from my shop, and basically there is a guideline for where you want to line up with where you want to line the tab up with the edge of the paper. And then also the center of the tab is lightly scored, so it's very easy to fold perfectly in half and get everything just very even. I do have 3 tricks on how I get my tabs very even. The first is I use the previous tab that I put down to line up the next tab. The second tip is I like to put down a piece of blank paper underneath the page that I'm about to tab. And the reason why I do this is it just ensures that the rest of the notebook doesn't really interfere with my vision, if that makes any sense. I just find it really distracting, and it's kind of hard to see the edge of the paper when the rest of the notebook is there. So I just use a piece of white paper. And then lastly, just a word of caution, for the emoji heads, you can see that I have all of them to the left, or I guess if you turn it 90 degrees, it's at the top. However, if you accidentally flip it, the emoji head will be on the opposite side. So just make sure that you pick a side and stay with it consistently, or else the emoji heads are going to be like up and down and left and right and all of that. For the daily section, I'm using this new tab set that I just came out with, and this is the Hobonichi colors. So if you notice that it's very similar to the colors of the Hobonichi, it was not by accident. It's not like exact. I did make it rather like pastel and more to my taste, but it loosely resembles the Hobonichi colors. So I used this set for the daily section, and then for the weekly section I used the plain white set. Again, I'm only using January through June. I saved the rest of the sheet to be used for the other notebook. Also, my camera quality here is really bad, and you can see like bits of my hair popping through. I have another exciting piece of news, and it is that I got a legitimate camera as well for videos. It has yet to come in, so I'm not too sure like if it'll actually improve, but hopefully just in general my video quality can improve in the future. Okay, so after finishing up the tabs, I went back to one of the title pages, and there is a spot here that is kind of wrinkly, and that is because, if you might recall, I messed up putting down the January year at a glance calendar, and it kind of ruined through the other page. So I just put down this struggle bus vinyl sticker. And then I think this is the last thing that I'm doing. Yeah, this is the last section. So I am now working on the title pages of each of the daily sections. So in the Hobonichi Cousin, the daily section starts off with a title page for each new month, and I honestly never know what to do with it. For 2023, I was a little ambitious and I put down like a calendar and like a section for important dates, but past like the first 2 months, I never filled it out. So I am just not going to set any expectations, and instead, as you can see, I am using some washi stickers from my shop. The first sheet is the floral monthly headings, and then the other 2 sheets are the large doodle stickers, and I'm basically just going ham putting down stickers. And if you have any judgments whatsoever about the fact that I spent like 10 minutes putting down all of these stickers and just decorating my planner and jamming to music, I do not want to hear it. This like random 10 minutes of just putting down stickers to my heart's content was the happiest I had been in quite a while. So yeah, that was super fun. And yeah, if I decide to do something on the title page in the future, then I have a lot of space to do so. But also, if I don't do anything, I think just like having these like bits of floral washi stickers, it's still kind of like decorated and pretty. So I do like that. So that's about it for this setup video. I just like quickly cleaned up and put together any like leftover bits that I will need for the July to December setup in with the notebook so I don't lose it, and when the time comes I will be back and set that one up as well. I posted about this on Instagram as well, but I also got a take a note planner for 2024, and don't worry, I will be doing an entire planner systems video for 2024 once I have everything set up, and I will be going through what I'll be using each planner for, and I will also continue doing planner updates every month and all of that. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, please let me know. I hope you have a wonderful day and take care. Bye.